last session. Okay. So for anybody who is joining, I would ask that you do put on your cameras to give full support to our speakers, as well as just, this is a celebration. This is the last session of these attendees, these students, these great minds who've gotten together over the past 3 weeks to really give themselves an opportunity to step out of their shell. And when I say that it has been a fantastic journey to be a part of it with them, to hear about their strengths, their weaknesses, it has been, it's just been fantastic, and the transformation has been great. So with this session, we are giving them an ability to finally tell their story in complete from the time that they started all the way to now, and really hear the transformation that they have, so that when they step forward to tell their story in the workforce, among their new people that they're going to meet, whether it's in their personal, professional, or just through their passion, that they're able to do it educatedly, they're able to do it with confidence, but more important, they're able to do it, period. This program was specifically designed for their progress, and may I say that, you know, not only did they surpass what I had expected and knew that they had, but they recognized the potential within themselves, and that's always the basis of programs such as this. So now that we have only 4 individuals who are going to complete their speech, oh, actually 5 with Cheryl joining us. Actually, let's see, it was Andres, Abby, Adi, and Cheryl. Am I missing somebody?
R.I.S.E. I'm sorry, R.I.S.E.
And oh, like I said, I got to scroll through pages, so I don't see who's here. All right. And Kimberly, are you on? I saw her join earlier. Ah, there you are. Kimberly, since you gave your speech last time, in order for you to get credit for this time, you know I'm asking you to turn on that camera so we can't see you. Miss Karen is sharing, so we do ask the same thing of you as well, too. Okay. All right. So with that being said, Madam President, or Mr. President, would you please kick us off with our opening statement? Chase, you're on mute. For once, I get to tell you that, huh?
Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. I am happy to be here, happy to see all of you. I look forward to seeing and hearing just speeches of everybody that has not yet given their speech. I know they're going to be awesome. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. And we're going out. Our Madam Vice President, Karen, is going to be giving us our going out speech. And but with that, since Andres is here, Kimberly, you have been awesome with doing our active listener, in which at the end of the session, she's going to ask us 4 questions based on the meeting that's been going on for those who have been paying attention. So with that, Ms. Kimberly, would you be okay accepting that role until Andres is able to come onto the line? I appreciate that so much, ma'am. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me just make sure. There it is. Andres, right on time, is joining in. So let's give a few more minutes for Andres to jump on. Okay, so let's see here. Ari's here. Please, Melissa. All right. Okay, so it looks like Adi right now and Andres are going to be our only 2. So with that being said, everybody who has not been able to participate in our session, just let me give you a brief breakdown of how this is going to go. We're going to open up the floor to our last speakers, in which we have a guest speaker, Miss Eva Fanardi, who is one of our fantastic members of Toastmasters. She is one of our keynote speakers, as well as one of our top competitors when it comes to contest competitions. Yes, there is such a thing. And she is just a super all-star at that as well. So she's going to be providing feedback like she did on Wednesday for the attendees, in which it was amazing. So afterwards, she's going to be able to break them down, give it that insight. So when they walk away, they're walking away with the absolute best feedback there is, okay? So with that being said, Andres, welcome, sir. I did ask Kimberly to be active listener. Sir, would you like to go ahead and take that role, or would you like Kimberly to have that?
You choose, sir.
You know what? Andres, let's go ahead and have you finish out strong. You're that poet I've always wanted to hear. So, and remember today, Andres, in order for you to get that credit and receive a pass for this session, I do want to see that face. So if you can turn on your camera when you're giving yours, that will be fantastic. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, Adi, ma'am, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Everybody, if you could look in the top right section of your screen, it says speaker view. Make sure that it is on that so that you see nobody but Miss Adi while she speaks. If you want to go ahead and click that, that'll be fantastic, and have your microphone on mute. With that being said, Miss Adi, the floor is yours.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm a little nervous because there's a lot of people. I'm going to just jump into it. Okay. Have you ever been so sick you've had to go to the hospital? The first person that you see is most likely not a doctor. It's usually a nurse. Nursing, although it's a very in-demand career, it's oftentimes overlooked by not only the community, but by their superiors as well. Hello, my name is Ariane Falcon, and this is why I believe that nursing is an overworked and overlooked occupation in our healthcare system. I have been a nursing student for the past 2 years, and me and my peers, we go out to clinicals to either nursing homes or
Hello,
hospitals.
this is Dwayne.
Sorry. Don't know. Do I just keep going?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Everybody, if you can mute your microphones, I'll be fine. Adi, you're doing fantastic. Pick up
Okay.
when you're comfortable.
Is your microphone muted?
I have been a nursing student for the past 2 years, and me and my peers go off to clinicals to either nursing homes or hospitals. We have had to learn that the type of nurse that you are determines the status that you have. Did you know that there is a hierarchy within nurses themselves, but there's also another one within the healthcare system that they work in? This was a shocking revelation I had to learn. Most of the work gets passed down from superiors, such as an RN assigning an LVN any unwanted tasks they don't want to do that day. They know that these nurses have to do as told and take advantage of them quite often. As we went out to clinicals, me and my peers were left doing the other jobs that weren't wanted, such as giving showers, changing diapers, or making beds. And usually, this is the job of a CNA. But since we didn't have any licenses or certifications, we just had to roll with it. Nobody really sees what we do, and we don't get many thank yous. But when we see the smile of gratitude or the simple "thank you, mija," it really makes my day. Most people don't even realize that nurses have so much on their plates and are under so much scrutiny from not only their coworkers, but from their patients and the families as well. Most people usually just see all the things that a nurse does bad, such as not fluffing a pillow right or not tucking in the corner of a bed. But that usually overlooks all the great things that a nurse does on a daily basis. Most people don't, oh, sorry, my battery. Most people usually just see everything that a nurse does wrong. And this often leads nurses to feeling overworked and not really appreciated, and leads to them eventually burning out. Nurses usually never get the recognition that they deserve in the eye of the community, and I have personally been a witness to this. Nurses do everything to keep a hospital running without the help of a doctor, yet the doctor is the one who gets all the glitz and glam. Yes, a doctor may be the one to diagnose the patient with cancer, but the nurse is the one who's there to administer the treatment or be there when the patient has any ill feelings. A nurse has to advocate for their patients. We have to be the ones to offer a shoulder to cry on when times are tough. Sorry. Nobody but the nurse and the patients really understand what a nurse does on a daily basis for our patients. And unless you're a nurse yourself, you may never understand what a nurse has to do to keep the hospital from running smoothly. Nurses do way more work that oftentimes they have to stay at work after their shift just so that they can chart. Charting is part of their jobs, but they know that helping their patients is way more worth it, and they'd rather stay at work an hour extra just so that they can do everything they can within their shift. Nurses deserve more appreciation for everything they have to go through, but at times just knowing that we did everything we could is enough. Nurses deserve appreciation more often because we lose nurses on a daily basis. And statistics have shown that 1 in every 5 new nurses quits within their first year of working just because of the stress that they're under. Nurses as a whole, we work for one common goal, and that is helping our patients. Nurses are the first person you see when you walk into any clinic. But do you see a nurse? Or do you see an overworked person just trying to do what they love? When you think of nurses, think of Rosie Williams when she said, "To do what no one else will do, in a way that nobody else can do." In spite of all that we go through, that is what it means to be a nurse. My name is Ariane Falcon, and this has been my outlook on why nurses are overworked and overlooked in our community. That's it.
Outstanding, Adi. Round of applause for her. That was great, everybody. Loves it. So I can't wait to hear some eval on that. Ms. Ava, floor is yours, ma'am.
Ori, thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into your world. You had many wonderful things happening in your speech. I love the organization. It was so clear. Your point was to tell us why nurses are some of the most undervalued professionals out there, and you accomplished the goal. It was beautifully told from your point of view and from your personal experience. I liked how you got interrupted. This is like a next level, like not even next level, this is like a top level exercise at Toastmasters. You give a presentation and then the other members interrupt you as much as they can. And you handled it really well. And Kenny, you were so supportive. And I don't know, Ari, if you knew this, but your audience members were, equally taken aback, and somebody put it into the comments to make sure that the mics are muted. But you handled it really well. Let's see. Really enjoyed how you used Kenny's golden tip to wrap the speech up with your opening, that the way you open, you kind of tie it together and you bring it to the end as well. That was beautifully done. It really is powerful. Just a few suggestions when you are going to give this speech again. You used a couple of abbreviations. Those were RN, LVN, and it might be a good idea, depending on your audience, to explain what those mean. I know what RN is, but LVN, I have no idea what that is. So it can trip your audience up a bit. So I lost a couple of sentences afterwards because I was wondering, should I Google it? I didn't. And also, you said that nurses deserve more appreciation. Give us examples, like how can we appreciate a nurse when we go to the doctor's office? Like, what would you like us to do? Say thank you, be understanding, like a nice call to action. What would you like your audience to do differently next time when they go to the hospital? Or it doesn't matter when they come into contact with a nurse. But thanks so much for sharing the story. Definitely food for thought for me too.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
As always, thank you very much for that feedback. Round of applause one more time. And everybody, thank you so much for the comments. Keep them coming. After every speech, comment in there what you think about it. This kind of feedback, we call those love notes. So give them their love notes and let them know how you feel about them, okay? All right. Coming up next, all right, Miss Abby, are you on and ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. You're up.
Okay. Criminals will be criminals. Have you ever thought about this? No matter how legally you make something, criminals will still find a way to get it. Remember, marijuana has been illegal for years and people have still found ways to get a hold of it. Hi, my name is Abigail Alonso and today we will be talking about gun rights. Now tell me, if someone were to break into your house armed with, let's say, a 9mm, what would you do? You're going to want to protect yourself, right? Well, how can you do that when you're against having guns in your house? The criminal isn't going to say, oh, I guess this is a gun-free zone, so I better go get a knife instead. No, life doesn't work that way. The armed person is going to be Like, yes, it's just like shooting ducks in a barrel. They can't defend themselves in any way. There was a study conducted at Harvard University where they have found that countries with more guns have less crime than those that have fewer guns. Here are some interesting facts you probably not very many of you know. The United States is a number one in the world in gun ownership, and yet is only number 28 in the world in gun murders per 100,000 people. Over the past 20 years, gun sales have absolutely exploded, but homicide with firearms are down 39%, and other crimes with firearms are down 69%. Overall, guns in the United States are used 80 times more often to prevent crimes than they are to take lives. And like a study done by the Justice Department concluded that the assault weapon ban in 1997 did nothing to reduce crime or shootings. Like I said before, criminals will be criminals. And just like Samuel Jackson said, I don't think it's about more gun control. I grew up in the South and we never shot anyone. This is about the people who aren't taught the value of life. If you haven't noticed, you can do your research and find out that the media only portrays the bad situations. Thank you.
Fabulous, fantastic. Everybody, please give a round of applause for that. Ms. Ava, floor is yours.
Abby, I have to say kudos to you for having the guts to speak on such a controversial topic. And you started very strong, you made your point, and it was very clear which side of this topic you were on. You had a lot of data to back up your point or sort of research information. And here's my one suggestion to you, Abby. When you present so much data, especially when you don't have a PowerPoint to write the data on so we can get a visual of that as well, it might be a good idea to slow down a bit. Just give us, every time you give us this one piece of data, just dwell in that space a little bit and count to 3 in your head so we really understand it. And there might be somebody in your audience to whom this information is new because they might be on the other side of this whole topic or in this sort of an argument, that they need that extra time for sure. Because essentially your point, as I understood, was to change some people's opinions. You invited us, you had a strong call to action, you invited us to do some research on our own. And also what I loved was that you used somebody who most of us really like, Samuel L. Jackson, as kind of your closing argument. That was really powerful and well done. I think you had a lot of great elements in there, but those would be my suggestions to kind of allow a little bit more space around your information and data there. Thanks so much, Abby.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Round of applause again. That was awesome feedback. And make sure we're giving those love notes privately to everyone, your choice. All right. Mr. Andres, sir, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, remember always all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. This means that each one of us is a descendant from an immigrant. My name is Andres Hernandez, a first-generation Mexican-American, and this is the face of immigration. Many people don't know the reason people migrate here. Many believe it's just to steal their jobs or cause harm to the community in a way, which is really absurd. My parents came to the United States for a better future for me and my siblings, not to bring drugs or violence. And just like us, many families wish to move to the United States for a better life. Many want to move to send more money to their families back in their home, and many escape a life of fear. I don't know if many of you guys know, but the pay in Mexico is about $5 a day. Not per hour, but in a day. While here the minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. What you earn over there in a week, you earn more here in a day. Just with that, it can help out many ways to families back in their hometown. Many times, money is not the reason they immigrate, but it's the danger that they live in their daily lives. I'm sure we have heard of the constant violence in Juarez. Just last year, Diario de Juarez reported that they reached 1,500 homicide cases, reaching an average of 4 murders a day. There are constant fights between gangs and cartels. About 2 years ago, my cousin passed away in a gang gunfight. I still remember that day at his funeral, everyone cried out loud for him, begging him to come back. Now just imagine raising a family in that kind of environment, putting their lives and their future in danger, not knowing if it's safe enough to go outside or not. When they immigrate here, many times they seek a refuge from their harsh life to reach their dream. Overall, many people migrate illegally for many reasons, some that we don't understand ourselves. The process they go through is really rough, and the way they do it can risk their health or even their own life. Should we aid them? Should we give them a hand? Or should we let them fight on their own through everything they have to go through? Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, remember, remember that always all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. Thank you.
Woo! Boy, I teared up a little bit on that one. That got me. Round of applause, everybody. Miss Ava, floor is yours.
Yes. Andres, this was wonderful. And just like Kenny said, it was touching. There is something about you, the way you tell that story. You dig somewhere deep and you come from that place of hurt that you carry inside you. So use that for you. And you have that revolutionary's eye or that look in your eyes already, like when you take the stage. And this is powerful. Just know that the world is waiting for you to go and start the revolution somewhere. But let's come to your speech now. You got to the point fast. I love it. Kenny, you've done such a good job at helping your young students here to get to the point fast. And you told us, Andres, there's many reasons why immigrants do come to this country. And I'm assuming that you're coming from a place of where you came from south of the border, right? Like those are those with you attached, because there are some people who come for, and you also mentioned it, that there are people who come for different reasons, but a lot of them come for financial reasons and just, physical fear, like fear for their lives and for the lives of their families. It was really well done. Again, as I've said to some people who came before you, just slow down a little bit. You, especially like at that part where you were talking about $5 a day instead of $5 an hour, this is really relatable. This is something that your audience, at least in this country, will understand what you're talking about, and allow again that space there for your audience to fully comprehend what it might be like to live with $5 a day. And everybody's going into a calculation mode. Okay, so that would be $25. Okay. So people are calculating at that space just a little bit to get the full picture, and you can help them out. $5 a day, that's $25 a week. Could you make that happen? What can you buy for $25? Does that make sense? But listen, I'm waiting to see you on the barricades one day. Well done.
Thank you.
Andres, and everybody who's in the session, have I not been saying that to him? You know, that he has that poet's voice, that voice. When you speak, people will listen. You have them, and you have a story to tell. And once you tell that story, they're going to go on and on and on. So I hope to see you grow more into the leader you already are, and I know you to be. Okay, Andres? Round of applause once again. Give him your love notes, everybody. Great job, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. I was hoping to stay in a little bit of order, in alphabetical order. Ms. R.I.S.E, are you there?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready? Okay. Floor is yours. R.I.S.E, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
No worries. You look like you started it strong, so you're good.
Okay. The American dream is an idea many people set as their goal in life. I recognize people come to America for better job opportunities and are seeking a future for themselves. The lack of help from the government and the support from family members can be a great obstacle for individuals who have a dream. Hi, my name is R.I.S.E Rivera, and I'll be talking about why the American dream is still alive. Not everyone has the opportunity to be born here in America. People risk themselves coming to our country looking for a chance to grow as a person. You probably know Jim Carrey. He's a famous comedian actor who was born in Canada and came to America to fulfill his dream. While living in Canada, he worked as a janitor and later left his job to become a stand-up comedian at the age of 15 to support his family financially. When he was 21, he left Canada and headed west to Hollywood, where he had a chance to appear in a television show called In Living Color. After his appearance in Living Color in 1984, he made a movie called Finders Keepers, but unfortunately, he didn't find success. 10 years later, he appeared in the movie Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, where his expressive face and talented skills kept the movie hits coming. The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Batman Forever, The Cable Guy, and Liar Liar were movies that made Jim Carrey a successful Hollywood actor. He became one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood and is someone who believed and pursued his dream here in America. You may see Jim Carrey as someone who's always happy, someone who's always making you laugh, and someone who's always positive, who has a positive attitude toward things. But do you know he suffered from depression? Well, yes, Jim suffered from depression a few years ago, and it was something he was dealing with while building his career and character. Jim never let his fans know what he was dealing with until he overcame it. Despite the obstacles and challenges he faced to come to the place where he's now, he never gave up. At some point, it seemed that his dream was just a waste of time and coming to America was not the right choice. Jim constantly proved America had a spot reserved for him as well as a future by demonstrating he could reach the top every time he failed from seeking success. He's a man many people look up to and is someone who will always take a chance no matter what the outcome will be. Jim Carrey once said, life opens up opportunities to you, and you either take them or stay afraid of taking them. And once again, my name's R.I.S.E Rivera, and this is one of the reasons why the American dream is still alive. Thank you.
Woo! That was some fuego right there. Oh man. So when she started that speech to where she is now, I'm not even gonna talk about it. I will brag on her all day. Miss Ava, the floor is yours.
How do you say your name again? Is it R.I.S.E?
You could say it R.I.S.E or Arlie. Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, R.I.S.E. Okay, I was not sure because R.I.S.E. That was a beautiful tribute to the work and life of Jim Carrey. I really enjoyed it, and I have had my mixed feelings towards him. But let's come to you. Very clear organization again. You made a statement that your speech was going to be basically on the topic that the American dream is live and well and it's worth pursuing. I don't really have a whole lot else to say about the American dream part, but I have a suggestion to you. Jim Carrey is really awesome and it's wonderful, but the main reason why I'm listening to you is because I want to hear who you are and what you have to say. Maybe somehow, somewhere in the middle of it, you can tell us your experience with the American dream up to this point. We now know that it's possible because Jim Carrey came from Canada and he was able to do it. And I'm very familiar with his story. It's quite spectacular. I want to hear your story. I want to know, do you think it's worth your time? Do you think it's possible? Or do you think that, or do you ever have these moments in your life when you feel that the American dream is just a myth and it's way too out of reach for you? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, because listen, I'm not a psychic and this is the first time I meet you, but there's a part of me that feels that you're just a little bit hiding behind Jim Carrey because your own story might be too vulnerable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Just something to think about. But listen, our power comes when we open up our wounds. Don't be scared, because that's where the money is. The money is where you hurt the most. That part of you that you don't want to share with others because you feel like it might show you weak or not lovable or not worthy. That's what connects you to the audience. The Jim Carrey story was fantastic, and now just a little bit you, and you will be perfect. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Amazing round of applause again for that feedback. All right, to bring us on home is Cheryl. Are you ready, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Okay, the floor is yours.
Imagine you can do what you love every day and enjoy it every step of the way. Well, hello, my name is Cheryl Linkford, and my job is streaming and playing video games. I've been streaming on Twitch for 3 years now. It has taught me how to network myself and helped me improve talking to people. Within these 3 years, I have gained 2,850 followers, and currently have 302 subs. My highest sub count was 623. The way I get paid is through donations, subs, and bits. Every sub is worth $5, and bits is another form of donate, but it's a currency through Twitch. And it's protected because with regular donations, people can refund them. I stream mainly Destiny 2 and CSGO, but lately I've been playing a lot of Valorant. I usually average around 20 to 40 viewers, but my highest viewers was 800 people at one time. Video games have been a huge part of my life ever since I was a kid. The reason why I started streaming was just for my friends to watch. As time went on, I grew to love streaming, and my community that kept growing. Before I started streaming, I was extremely shy and didn't talk much, even online. But streaming has helped me open up a little bit more. I'm still working on not being as shy in person, but I've definitely gotten a lot better. Since the beginning of this year, I have gained 1,144 subs, and my total revenue since January 1st is $3,842, and this is without donations included. My main game was Destiny 2, which is where I grew the majority of my community for the past year. But I recently started streaming and playing Valorant. Since I started playing Valorant, I noticed a decline in viewership. But I also noticed a lot of new people. Because it's a completely different game, which attracts a different crowd, I understand this isn't considered, or, well, no, I expected this to happen because it's a completely different game, which attracts a different crowd. I understand this isn't considered a regular job, as income can be very inconsistent, but I hope that one day my stream gets to the point to where I can live off of it comfortably. The good thing about streaming is I can make my own hours, so I'm able to have another job if needed. I have a lot to grow on in streaming, but I get to wake up every day and play video games as a job. This is what I love to do. That's it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Cheryl, I was looking something up right now because I forgot to tell it last time since you weren't here. But that when you are on Twitch, as well as that game that you're playing, Valiant, it is one of the hardest games to own a revenue stream on, only because it's brand new and with the variants of it. If you stay with it like that and you make a success out of that one, that is a great way to have that additional income as a streamer. So I want you to know that you are on the cusp of those analytics of becoming someone great should you stay with it, and it seems like you want to go for it. So I want to congratulate you on something that you may not know, but it's definitely going to be a successful platform for you. Miss Ava, floor is yours.
Yes, Cheryl and everybody else, I have to apologize for my question, but what's streaming? Can somebody, I'm sorry. Is it that when you play online a game and other people watch you play?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Sorry, I'm pretty sure I've heard this term many times because I have a son who's 13 and he loves gaming. So I'm actually so excited to see you and popping out of your shell, giving us this presentation and telling us that this actually can be a lucrative business. I love to hear about you talk about yourself. This is, I think, the first speech where you just came to share what you do, what works for you, what's successful for you, and you love it. That's your dream, and you're hoping to make it happen for you. I truly enjoyed that part of it. Here's, and I understand that this was difficult for you, and you mentioned it many times that you were shy. I think you did an awesome job. It was so well done, and you are, I'm assuming you read it from somewhere or whatnot, but you were pleasant to look at. You don't be scared of the camera. The camera loves you. Let me tell you. Here's like I'm just kind of running with this in my mind. If you would make like a little video webinar or workshop how you have made it successful and you're earning yourself some income through streaming and gaming, listen, I think you could sell that thing like nothing else. Just like a little business idea. I know that my son would spend his birthday money on buying that from you and figuring it out. So throw that somewhere in there as well. Now that you have that camera and presentation experience from this group. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. That was fantastic, Ms. Ava. Round of applause again. Make sure everybody gives Cheryl their love notes, private or personal. Okay, so that brings us to the very end of our session, okay? And what I would like to do is something that we have never done before, everybody. For those of us who've had the ability to hear everybody's speeches, I would like for us to close the session out with that one person everybody votes for to give their final speech, okay? So if everybody could take 1 minute and in the chat type whose speech made the most impact, whose did they love the most, whose would they love to hear again as this being the last session, go ahead and type it in there and we'll go ahead and let them go for a shot to end our session. Okay, let's see here. We have 2 for Louise, 3 for Karen, 1 for Abby, Andres, Karen. Yeah, I know, they're all amazing. It's hard to choose. Okay. Looks like it's up there between Andres and Karen. Okay. Okay, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 more seconds. Karen, it looks like everybody voted for you. Would you mind being our closer for this one?
No, I don't mind.
All right, everybody, please let, the reason before she speaks, I want everybody to pretty sure that they picked her is Karen has probably had one of the biggest transformations in the evolution of her story, because you see the level of everybody else has been at, the level of progression everybody has shown. And Karen has definitely made an impact on all of us emotionally with her story. So the fact that they've chosen to share, ask her to share it again, just goes to show you that everybody is able to now come together and say, you know what, I love what you have to say. And that's the biggest important thing about stepping into the workforce, is acknowledging your peers. It's saying you're the one that inspires me, you've empowered me, you're giving me that engagement. So for that, everybody, again, I'm truly proud of you to do that. Karen, congratulations on having the admiration of your peers, and the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, and thank you everybody who voted. So, a home is where life is shared and love is born. Souls combine to form unyielding, everlasting relationships in their homes. In many cases, it's not the house that provides these blissful emotions, passions, and experiences, but it's these houses that distract everyone else from the raging demons within who unleash their uncontrollable sins. Hello, my name is Karen Espinosa, and I am one who's endured life's poison at a very young age in a house that kept my unbearable truth in the dark. This was a difficult battle that took many years to overcome, but the outcome taught me how to become resilient and figure out who I am and discover my purpose in life at an early age. To begin with, my poison was handed to me when I was only 3 years old in the form of an abusive, determined stepmother along with an alcoholic, abusive father. They both abused me physically and emotionally throughout my childhood. My father, Hector, introduced me to my stepmother, Vanessa, when I was only 3 years old, and she was only 20. My dad was never home growing up because he was either at work, the bar, or in a musty hotel room pursuing unfaithful actions with women he's never met. Deep down, Vanessa knew of my father's whereabouts and his actions, and this drastically exasperated her rage. Too clueless and in love, she never had the strength to leave my father. So she decided to unleash her pain in alternative forms that involved my innocent young self. She began slowly by feeding me propaganda that she was my mother who cared so much for me and that I was the center of her universe. These sugar-sweet lies swirled in my brain, making me feel special. By age 5, Vanessa's love changed. A love so passionate, its outcomes on my life are now irreversible. She once bit the tender skin on my chink off in a moment of rage. When I was 5, while I slept peacefully in bed, Vanessa would grab my ankles and throw me across my room, along with locking me in the pitch black area. In addition, I wasn't allowed to speak to my biological parents. I thought a judge would save me from that environment, but things only got worse. Pursuing this further, around age 7, my father became an alcoholic. My father would be on his 6th cup of tequila mixed with beer by 8 o'clock in the morning. At first, he would laugh and trip everywhere while slurring his words. But as time grew, his actions resulted into violence when he was under the influence. My dad would be aggravated by the smallest actions and would resort to pounding his heavy fists on Vanessa's delicate body for hours. My 7-year-old self would lock my younger brother Hector, who was only 2, and I in my room, while hearing Vanessa plead to God for mercy and beg for the excruciating pain to end. When her screaming stopped and my father's fists began hammering my door, I would leave my house with Hector in my arms and run to the nearest park. I would always return home when the sun no longer kissed my face. This only increased Vanessa's anger, leading her powerful, robust limbs to leave purple, green, and blue imprints all over my body. Throwing my skeleton-like physique against the floor and walls, she would also yank my hair to get my attention and wake me up in the middle of the night just to remind me of the mistake I was. All of this just to alleviate her pain. There were times where she wouldn't even let me use the restroom and waited till I accidentally went in my pants. This is only so she could wrap a Walmart bag around my waist and make me walk around in public like that all day. This only continued and worsened until I was 12 years old when my father got arrested for domestic violence and was sent to jail for a month. By law, I finally got to live with my mom, and I was eager for my dad to be free once more so I could finally be safe and live with him, and only him. However, when my dad got out of jail, he decided to move in with a new woman and her 3 daughters, while telling my mom he didn't need me anymore. No one in my family believed I had a chance of a good, successful, and happy life. Everyone was ready to expect the worst from me because of my upbringing, assuming that I would allow my past to define me. Nonetheless, I made sure to prove them wrong. I am now a healthy, happy, caring 18-year-old girl living the best life possible. I've been successful both academically and personally. Academically, I received my associate's degree at the age of 17 in psychology. I am a junior in a university at the age of 18, studying political science with a minor in psychology. Most importantly, personally, I have found a way to forgive people from my past and be happy. I do not tell my story to get pity, nor do I tell it to get praise. I tell my story to show people who feel like they'll never escape from the same situation that I was in, that it is possible. I tell my story to show that even when the worst things happen to us in life, it is really just a blessing in disguise. Hello, my name is Karen Espinosa, and I survived from life's poison at an early age. Thank you.
Ooh. Fire every time. I always get choked up. No evaluations needed. You got it yesterday. But I think Karen is a great ending to the transformation of everybody in here. All I can ask is that everybody recognize the transformations they have and understand where they're going to go in the future. You can hear it in my voice. I'm cracking a little bit. Okay. So with that being said, Mr. Andres, our 4 questions, sir. Floor is yours.
Okay, so first question is, why do nurses stay after work most of the time?
Anybody can answer. It doesn't just have to be the attendees. Please join. Who remembers why nurses stay?
To complete chart work?
Yes.
Right. Next one, my friend.
What place is the United States on the rate of deaths from gun violence?
28.
What was that?
28.
Yes. And then, what topic was Cheryl's speech about?
Streaming.
Gaming.
Yes, she's right. And that is all for now.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Active Listener. And to go ahead and bring this session to a close, Madam Vice President, would you take us out with your closing statements?
Yes, so good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to congratulate everyone for completing this course and genuinely putting an amazing amount of effort into the class. I'm very happy with all the relationships we've made and the confidence we have in each other. Most importantly, I want to thank Workforce and Toastmasters for this amazing opportunity for allowing us to enhance our skills in speaking and providing us a lesson that we can use in our everyday life. Thank you, everyone, for the lessons learned in this class and this opportunity. And I'm happy that we all took advantage of it in a good way. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you so very much, Madam Vice President. With that, I do want to open up the floor to any of the work staff who would like to say something. I know there's a lot of us and we may not have time for everybody, but I do definitely want to give time for our those who've been here before and seen the transformation, and for those who this is their first time and they just want to give their opinion. Fernando, you're like in the middle of my screen, so would you mind if I just called on you to get your take as a newcomer to the session?
Well, I'm sorry I was in the middle of the screen, but I'm sure you're on. But my take, well, I wasn't very familiar with the whole process, and Ceci de la O is the one who invited me to come in and say, you got to come and see this. And I'm going to tell you, every single story carries their own weight and so many different ways that we can relate. And I'm very impressed at the way that the students were able to express themselves and really freely go and put it in a different perspective. So I'm very thankful for what you guys do for our students, and all of us that we're in education, they can relate to this, including also Workforce. We're in the same, the same sheet of music. So with that, thank you for what you do. I'm very, very humbled to be able to be part of this session. I didn't know you existed in that aspect. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you very much. Miss Yvonne, I would love to hear from you, ma'am.
It's hard for me to speak because I feel very emotional. I am moved beyond words by the young people that came and opened themselves up, looked inside themselves, were willing to share themselves with us. Their vulnerability is their strength, and I want them to know that. The depth that you have right now in the beginning of your life, if you continue in the way that you're going, is going to bring you so many opportunities to be successful, which may mean money, may not mean money. But the fact that you appreciate some things in life now that took us many years to appreciate gives you a head start in being successful in your life, in your relationships, and in everything that you do. And I am very proud for you. I'm very excited for you. And I can't wait to see the things that all of you end up doing. Thank you for sharing yourselves with us.
Thank you very much. All right. Let me see here. Charlie, can I get your opinion, sir? Your feedback.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for inviting me to this. I am such a proud principal today. I got to hear from my students and all types of communication. And I able to not only influence other people, but being able to motivate those people through storytelling. And so I couldn't be prouder. I was moved by every story, and I recognize that many of the stories you guys shared with us today are personal stories that are deep to your heart. And so as a proud leader at Bel Air High School, I want to thank everybody that was involved in helping promote and induce this type of experience for our kids, for our students, and for our future leaders. So thank you first and foremost, and students, congratulations. The experience you got here never has an expiration date. There's always going to be a time where you have to communicate and do so to the best of your ability. Keep growing in that regard. Keep listening and chasing that type of growth. It's going to be very valuable. Probably the most valuable thing you can take with you is that skill set. So very impressed. I loved spending time with you all. Hopefully I can do more of these in the future. Thank you so much for your heart and your energy. Everybody, the facilitator, I appreciate you so much. May God bless all you guys. And if there's anything I can do for you all in my small part of the world, I'm in.
Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Patsy.
Thank you, Kenny. I'm speechless. I just want to congratulate every single one of you. You all have been amazing. Congratulations. This is just the beginning. I just want to say that the sky is the limit. These are amazing skills that you will continue to move forward with. Your stories are very, very emotional. I'm emotional right now, because thank you so much for really opening and trusting us with your stories. And congratulations. And thank you, Kenny, so much for being able to facilitate this to us. I greatly appreciate that.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Like I said, this has been the best 3 weeks I've had. They have been a great step away from the work. It has been a great step away from all of the things that we think are an issue, but then you get on a call like this and realize that our future is still there with these individuals here. So it has been a pleasure to be a part of it for everybody. I open it up for anybody else who have anything that they would like to say. We have about 5 minutes, and I like to be respectful of everybody's time. We have time for one more.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ceci De La O. I'm the workplace coordinator for the Sled Independent School District. And I just want to say great job to everybody that presented today. Public speaking is just such an important skill that you're going to be able to take into any kind of job that you get into in the future. And especially to our health profession students, because you're going to be dealing a lot with the public. But you have no idea how important it is to have that skill. And having said that, I want to really thank Workforce Solutions Borderplex for partnering with the Sled School District. They are doing so many amazing things with our youth in getting them ready for the workforce. And I want to thank Toastmasters for being a part of this. I just can't express my gratitude for everything that you do for our students. Just very appreciative.
Well, thank you very much, and it's greatly appreciated. We will get with Workforce as far as to be able to mail out your certificates, but because of everything going on, it may take a little bit. But just know this piece of paper means nothing in the skills that go forward. If you lose this paper, you don't lose this skill. Okay. So with that, I would like to again, I appreciate the time that you dedicate towards your progression and your success. For with this, you have invested in yourself to be successful. All right. Taking us out, Miss Ava, would you give us your final words so we can go ahead and end on that beautiful high note?
Oh, yes. Listen, guys, bad things don't happen to us in vain. We have our lives as just stories strung together, and everybody's stories are different. We all handle our stories differently, and we all give different stories different weight in our lives. But that's what they are, their stories. And the reason why they happen to us is that they become the connection points to the rest of the world. Use this as a gift to spring forward, and know that the deeper you dive within you, the deeper the connection will be with the world around you, and the bigger the impact will be that you can make. Go for that change, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from you and of you somewhere out there one day. Thanks, Kenny, for having me, and thanks for this wonderful time that I have been able to be a part of over this week.
All right, it's no problem at all. So with that being said, everybody, I am going to put 2 minutes back into your day. Please be blessed, be safe, and anything, be successful in everything you do. Don't be sorry, be better. Enjoy it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
Thank you.